Hello and good morning, traders. Welcome to the morning market wrap brought to you by Elite Traders Group. The date today being Tuesday the 29th of November 2011. We want to have a look at a couple of opportunities in the market and just to see where the price action led us from last night. Got here the Dow Jones cash chart finishing up 291 points for the night. We saw a lot of strength, as we can see, coming off the back of that Thanksgiving holiday. The buyers are rushing into the market. Now, why is that? Fundamentally, there's been rumors that the IMF will be lending a helping hand to Italy with some bond purchases there and also an increase in the EFSF. Only rumours at this stage, and nothing formal has actually been made, but nonetheless, a dead cat bounce is what we've seen within this at least short-term downtrend. As we can see, we've taken out that previous support up around that 11,600. It looks to appear that we've also taken out 11,900. Right now, after 7 aggressive selling days that we've seen in markets, I think it's really time for it to have a breather. So are we inclined to be getting long in this market? Not just as yet. If you are shorter term, then you're looking at this 11,650 mark or so as a short-term break to the upside out of that consolidation with a stop loss, probably about 200 points. But as I maintained and I said yesterday, we're waiting until another break to the downside. I think that with what's happening within the Eurozone at the moment, we're going to continue seeing a lot of pressured selling within equities markets, and not uncommon to see a bit of a breather like this after so many days down. But once again, quite a bit of economic data to be released this week that can create volatile times. That's the equities market for us. Moving on, if we have a look also at the commodity space, we can see gold cross the US dollar at the moment, and I'll bring up the spot chart for us. Just coming up right now. We can see the spot chart here is trading at about 1709. I was looking at this yesterday, and the question is, well, has it bottomed? Are we currently in a risk-on scenario? And if we are, we're most likely going to see further depreciation of the US dollar and further appreciation of the currencies against it, such as gold. So trading at about 1709, we can see that it's just tapped through that short-term breakout at 1710. I'm really inclined to be looking at getting long in this one, and what we're going to do, now that it's had that break, it's somewhat failed and sitting on that resistance, we're going to wait. We're going to wait for a breach of about 1722. What we'll do with regards to our protective stop of that one, so we'll be looking at buying at stop 1722. We'll be looking at using the 4-hour average true range for this, looking about 2 times of that to give us a bit of a buffer, so at least 20 to 25 point stop loss closer to around 1695 down here. And what we'll be looking for is a confirmed break of that 1722, and following that we'll be looking at some strict maintenance of stop losses to reduce risk as soon as possible. But it would appear that it has bottomed, at least for the short term. And as I showed you last week, learnt this one off our friend Dennis Gartman, who does very well with gold in the past. Bring up a daily chart, put on it 150-day period moving average, and go back and back and back and back, even to 2008, and there's been 9 instances now that it has just bounced off our 150-day moving average, bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce, and continues to. Has it done it this time? Very good question. I think that right now, at least for the short term, we have seen that bottom as long as that US dollar continues to depreciate. If we move on over, yesterday morning we saw a lot of strength within the Australian dollar. It was up about 120 pips just on the open, and it got up to about 180 pips at one point in time. I think I woke up very early this morning. It was up past over 200 pips. So some strength there, and obviously we're seeing some risk appetite come into the market. Now this has really helped our trade, because what we did last week is we took out a position on the Euro Australian dollar. Let's have a look at this. Now this looks like a messy chart, yes? Absolutely. It's been range trading quite considerably, as we can see, for the past 3 months. Now last week we identified, it was last Wednesday, we identified that the euro appeared to be grossly overbought against the Australian dollar. Okay, and to avoid the volatility that comes with just trading spot, what we did is took out a put option on this one. As we know, put options, when we take out long puts, we want the price to go down. Okay, so what we did here at 137.3, we took out a put option with an exercise price, strike price of 1.37, and obviously we're wanting to see that fall by our expiry of December 8. Now since then, this particular market has actually fallen over 250 pips. Okay, at one stage it was about 300 pips since our entry. So our option is what we call very deep in the money. It means that we're in quite a bit of profit. And seeing as we do have a short expiry, we do have that time decay working against us. So what we're actually going to look at doing today is we're going to look at taking profits off the table. Because as we know, we've seen quite a bit of a sell-off in the euro and a lot of appreciation in the Aussie. It's very likely that we are going to see a breather very shortly. Let's have a look at taking profits in the Euro Australian dollar in our platform. And guys, if you've received this recommendation and you're unsure how to, please just give us a call at the desk. We'll be able to do so. So we can see here I've got the Euro Australian dollar, our long put that we got in for around 93 pips. Right now, that put's worth 256 pips only a couple of days later. Market value of $7,000, and that's a full profit of about 4,800. So what we're going to do is we're going to click that, expand, we'll look at closing this one here, and as we can see we've got 256 pips to close that position at market, in which we've just been able to do. Perfect, all good. So very easy, and we've secured our profit there in the Euro Australian dollar of about 4.8, just on a 300,000 lot. And lastly, we've still got our 3-month Euro dollars. We're only up $500, and that very, very small. The 3-month Euro dollars, the code for that one is GEM3. As I bring it up. Here we go, a little bit slow. Is GEM3, and this is more of an interest rate product, very slow but looking really good in the short term. We're bearish this, we're already in profit. Our original short entry was 99.2, our next entry is 99.13, so we're still in some considerable profit overall, but we're wanting to see a nice clean break of this 99.12, 99.13, and then we'll be looking at adding again. So looking like a really great position. Now guys, that brings us to the end of our daily morning update by Elite Traders Group. If you do have any questions, if you're wanting to take advantage of any of these live trade recommendations, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Here at Elite Traders, we do offer trade recommendations, both SMS and email, discount full service broking, as well as most likely the lowest margin requirements for futures and FX and CFDs. We're actually trading on about 1% margin for our futures contracts, and that is full service as well. At the very least, subscribe to our channel, get a morning update every day, keep you informed in the market. Please give me a buzz sometime. Phone number toll free 1300 304 500 for Australia. If you're overseas, we've got 617 5585 4200, and the email there is dib@halifaxonline.com.au. Click the link just below to subscribe to our channel and keep informed. Have a great day. Check in with you soon.